that, and he showed me where my out was. And I went, thank you. Fortunately for me, he was not assigned to me because he did not like me. But over the years, I have had guides that appear out of nowhere to help me. When I was newly divorced with a 2-year-old baby, again, a long time ago when technology was different, and you had to hook up your own phones and your own wires, literally. They've again changed this. And I was crying, saying, God, you told me I could do this by myself, and I need a man here to help me. Help me, God, I'm trying to do wires, it's not working. A man came into my room and came into my hands. It was an electrician from the other side. And I didn't even know what I was doing, and it went, and then he left. He stayed long enough for me to say, thanks, that's so cool, thank you. And he left. And I thanked God that he had men on the other side for me. I thanked God. When my dad died, my dad was a warrior. You guys know that. I've shared many times my father was a soldier. He was, we learned the Marine hymn by the time I was 3 years old. That's the first song he taught us, Surprise inspections. He was very challenging. Seriously. And he died that way. He died that way. We were not in harmony with our life philosophies when he died. But when he died, he came to my mom and he said to my mom, they've assigned me to Iran. Where are we fighting? Iran. They've assigned me to Iraq. They've assigned me to Iraq. I'm going to go and be with the boys that are fighting over there so I can help them. That's my dad. That's the gift he could give. Do you see? So he got assigned to be with the boys, to help some of them stay alive, to guide them. That's the beauty of guides. And those are just a few little examples. I've had many guides over the years, but they come to help you where you are at your level of consciousness. And again, some of them come just for a specific moment. Some of them come for your life issues. If you've got an issue, if you're having a difficulty mothering, or in a relationship, or in a job, you are surrounded by guides that have been assigned to you to help you. If you can ask to become aware of them, you'll hear them. You'll hear them. All right. The other thing I wanted to teach you about, let's make sure I got it all. Remember, guides reach us at our level of consciousness. Okay, the other thing is teachers. Every time I pray, do I not always ask for our angels, guides, and teachers? And all of you go, yeah, she's always saying angels, guides, and teachers. Do you ever wonder what that means? Angels, guides, and teachers. Well, who are these teachers? Teachers are a group of light beings who I feel may or may not have lived on this earth before, but I believe they are like us. I believe that they have chosen the path of God through their will. Dedicated their life to the path of God, and now have dedicated their life to helping elevate the consciousness of mankind. Our teachers we call forth based on what we want to learn. Do you understand? So, they, I feel, form a higher level of elevated human consciousness. And for me, I study the Bible, I study God, I study feng shui, I study healing, energy. I get teachers who come forward to help me with what I'm choosing to learn. And these beings that come are at a high level. But there's a certain thing about drawing teachers to you, because you may not have teachers. You need to know that. If you're content with where you are, and you don't want to learn nothing else, you may not have teachers with you. But if you want to learn, you can ask for them. And this is the thing about teachers. They do not come automatically. You have to be accepted into the program. And that's the truth. Depending on your level of consciousness and your level of sincerity, you have to be accepted. I don't believe teachers come to an uncommitted heart. I think I might want to learn that someday. Yeah, well, someday maybe you'll get your assistance. It takes a committed heart that says, I'm ready to do this. I know one time in particular we were doing the seminary. It was 1990, summer of 95. We were at the beach vacationing. Patrick and the kids were out on the beach, and I was in the condo where we were staying working on seminary. I was prepping seminary because, I had to hit the ground running when I got back. I'm in the Old Testament, oh my God, plowing through some of this and praying, saying, God, I don't understand this. What's the meaning? What's the meaning here? And I'm really trying to get the metaphysical understanding of some of these deep, entrenched words in consciousness. The room I was in filled with light, and 13 light beings appeared. That place was rocking. I was so humbled. Again, I was crying, of course. I cry all the time. And they were looking at me to see if I qualified for their instruction. They did not come to say, okay, darling, we're going to help you. They came to say, who is this girl? What's she doing? And I had got my inventory taken. And then they said, okay, we'll help you. I entered into their school of training. And they are the ones that govern our seminary program. This huge group of light beings that we can turn to, and anyone who's in the program has felt them. They can turn to them in those moments when you have that question and feel their presence. There was another time during our process as a church, I was praying in or praying out, and one angel came with the energy of the light beings to see if this church qualified for a new set of teachers. And we got our inventory taken. Because we've been asking and asking and asking. But you have to rise to that level of commitment before you're answered. And we got approved. And we got approved. And we got lifted into another level of consciousness, and we bought this property. Every time you involve yourself with allowing those teachers to come and be with you, they lift you up. They lift you up. All right. So, for me, I have a seminary team. I have a Sunday morning team. I have a healing team. I have a feng shui team. I've got a writing team. And if I ever try to cook, I have a cooking team. Really, I have a cooking team. And these teams consist of angels, guides, and teachers. Angels, guides, and teachers. So when my cooking team comes in, don't you think my guide is a little grandma? And sometimes it's my very own grandma. And it's a teacher that Matthew the chef my teacher would be so under Matthew the chef, do you see? Because they're teaching me measuring things. You see? Whereas if Matthew the chef asked for a teacher, he'd get the big teacher. You see? Our teachers, guides, and angels come together to support us in whatever we are asking for. So I have a bunch of them, and they come to help me when my focus is there. They recede when my focus is not. They come to help me when my other focus, they recede. Do you see? Do you see how powerful life is and the spiritual support that's all around us? So, our angels work only for good. Our team, so I'm going to refer to them as a team. During the month of June, we're going to work on these teams. We're going to look for help from these teams. Have you felt anything as I've been speaking? I saw one of my seminary students raise an eyebrow when I talked about the 13. They went, I've never felt them. I need them.
There's more than one of us sitting out here.